Hello, we're back. Today I'm going to do a drawing by uh, Michelangelo, and this is very famous. You've quite possibly seen it. It's just titled a female portrait. Uh, it has so much to offer. I will be pointing out the different aspects of the rendering, and these things are really valuable for you and for your further development. Okay, let's get going. Okay, here we go. Now, let's get going. Let's, first of all, when you do your drawing, don't go any far, don't go any bigger than the size of your hand extended. It's not necessary to go smaller, larger, and if you go too small, you're not going to be able to really do a good drawing. So we just try to keep this in a not too big, not too small. Just put your hand out, and that's about the size you want to work. Okay? So I'm filling this page. What we want to do now is when we do a profile, we always build a profile with a line that starts down here and it runs all the way through. You don't break it, you just keep that line going. You see, there's your line. That could be your line right there. Okay, and we lay that in. And what I'd like to ask you to do is to put a humanoid form on there right away. Just put a humanoid form. It'll just help you to feel your way. Okay? Now, the scale of a drawing is made by the size of the nose when we do our profile. So we're going to do our nose. Going to lay it in. Now, again, this is not going to be a portrait of this beautiful drawing. What it's going to be is a way to attack your profile when you're doing a profile. See how we keep that line going, always keeping that in mind. I'm going to put a nice round form here. I'll get as close as I can to what I see. Okay, we're going to do now the upper lip. I'm going to do a diagram for this eventually. A lower lip. This flare here is really important. I want you to learn to draw this because you're going to have it quite often, and it's going to be a really beautiful part of your drawing. We do the outside of the lip, the inside. It generally comes over and in a little bit. Separation over here. Now the lower lip has a shelf on it. You want to draw that shelf. And the under part of the lip, and then it comes over here, and we connect there. Now this is where the beauty is, right here. That's what you want to go after, right? This little guy right here. And sometimes it'll be even less. It'll even be this. And then this will be wider here, just because of the change. It's gone around here. This is more of what we see. But learn to articulate this form. Learn to articulate that. It's really important. You're going to have to do it someday. Just be aware of it, okay? There's so much beauty right here. So much beauty. Shelf. The round shelf. Come and connect. Sometimes this line is usually left out. We don't see it. Okay. So here, let me just continue here. Now, all of these, you lay these in, and they're always conditioned. You can always be modified. Just lay it in and just get it going. See this line? We're keeping that line and always keeping that line in mind. Okay. That's our shadow pattern. We have another shadow here. I'm going to take that up just a little bit because I'm in the mood, and that's that. Okay, now the important thing when we do our eye here is we come over and we come at an angle. We come at an angle here. Always come at an angle. Don't come straight across. I know he's tipping down. I didn't tip him enough. Actually, it should be like this, right? Yeah. I can do like this. And always come at an angle here. I'm going to just keep drawing straight, even though it's not at the... You know what I'm going to do this right. Let's just start over. That's what it's all about. We're just starting over. Let's do this properly. I'm going to go nice size. Let's do this well. Random nose. It looks like he has a this is at right angles to his vertical, so let's go for that. Okay, we're going to turn the nose. It's wonderful round here. See, we have a beautiful, this is a straight, a little turn. This is a beautiful round. We're going to have another round, a very small one. Totally on a, okay. Edge. It comes a little bit and then we're over. And we're going to put the chin in, come out. And here we go. So now let's go with our angle. This area has always got to be longer than you think it should be. Always. And what you're going to do now, you're going to do a portrait of the eye. And that's what he's done. He's done a portrait. This is where you go in, and this is where you get all of your reading for your drawing. How much you want to say, how you want to render it, what the personality of the sitter is. You're going to be really aware of everything that's is transpiring here. Now, again, we're going to do a nice circle when we do our eye, because you always want to keep in mind that you're working with a form. It's not just one line and another line that makes a circle. You want to think always in a circle. Always. And in the circle, I'm going to put the eyelash, the iris. And now I'm going to start to place the eyelid, the lower eyelid. This fold here is very important. I see people don't want to negotiate a fold. Negotiate a fold. Always. It's, well, a lot of the personality comes right from this. And now this is the round has now been taken over by the fatty tissue up here. You see? So we're going to, we want to wear that. You can see that we go up into here. There's another movement. Okay, you see, does that make sense? That has to make sense. Voila. This guy's going around in here. Really descriptive, a lot of descriptive modeling. And don't forget to do your eye socket. So much more than just the eye. So much more than just the eye. There we go. Now, because this is round, there's a little halftone over here. And we're going to bring this down. Nice kind of a harder edge right over here. A little more of a hard edge in here. And we're going around the form. So this is helping us to describe how this is built. Okay, you don't want to do a portrait. Just sit down and do the portrait. Or I'll do it over again here. It's coming up a little bit. I'm going to come through. Now we're going to give scale to the drawing. Scale to the drawing and the interest. And this is, you've got to learn to draw this way if you want to paint. Because this is all just separations of planes. You see there's a plane, here's a plane, this is a plane. There we go. Okay. All right, let's just continue. Now Michelangelo was he was right-handed, and all of his rendering starts, usually when you're right-handed, it's easier to do your rendering from left to right because you're working here, doing all your things, and you're not smudging it. So as you go, you work this area, and then as you go, you start to fill the other, and you don't necessarily have to come back in and smudge what we've done here. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Now I'm going to keep drawing. I don't like the attitude here. Doesn't please me, but I'm going to keep it there until I come back. I'm going to continue with the demo. There's several things I've got to draw here, so let's do it later when I get back. All right, now so how do we find the ear? How do we place the ear? Now I see there's a little indentation here of where the neck could be. Now I ask my students to do this, to try to find the distance. What is a neck that could go with this form? Actually, just to have an idea where that neck might be. But the most important thing is to come down to the chin line, come over to your right, get the exact same distance here. It's a unilateral triangle, and that's going to help you place your ear. So I'm seeing that this is on a line right here, so we have a placement here, and there we go. Let's see where it lands up here. Yeah, that's good. That should do it. All right, so it looks like we're just about right for this this drawing, for the placement. So don't forget this. Always do this when you're on a profile. Always do your unilateral triangle to find the ear. Now sometimes if he's turning completely to the left, there'll be a shorter place, or if he's 3/4, it'll be a shorter. But just know you can place it. Once it's there, you'll be able to continue your drawing, and then you can always correct it. Now this distance here is always more than you think. It's the same as here. That's always farther than you think it is. So always allow yourself to make that ear just to have enough space right in here. Okay, now I'm just going to come in and quickly, this is the hairline. I'm going to build the form. Seems to come in here pretty much. There we go. That could be what we're looking for. Now, okay. Now let's just look at the ear while we're here. Okay, this is how we construct the ear. It comes over. It has always has a reed right here. Whatever it is, it has a reed, and then it comes down and it stops. Okay, now we're going to come down here and try to find a nice personality. This is the ear is a great change of pace for your drawing. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to create the secondary movement. I don't like that. That's a little round. I'm going to do a little more on an angle. That's our secondary movement. This goes in. This is a little thicker. I'm going to make that a little thicker. And this is the darker part. Now he hasn't didn't spend time on that, that's all. But you can see this is how we draw the ear. Always do this, and there's a second reed. There's always a second reed here. And quite often it'll come up here, but we'll just go like that, okay? All right, now let's, I'm going to correct this mouth situation. Now what I'm trying to explain is why he's done what he's done, what to look for, how to handle it. Earlier I was talking about this beautiful form right here. Be one with that. Be one with that. I'll bring this in a little bit. I want to get a nice movement under here. And it comes around. All right, we can do some things now. I'll pull this in, make that a little more feminine, and it comes over here. Okay, so we did everything we should do to alleviate the problems that might come up. Now what I want to do now is start to talk about the planes. Now he has the planes here. You can see that. It's very delicate, beautifully done. And then he did a lot of cross-hatching because he was a sculptor, and that's exactly how he sculpted in a movement. Now here, when you look at the profile, and you have your light source here. There's a shadow, and there's a shadow under the between this eye, this separation here. There's a shadow. Now he just did a very, very short, very simple shadow pattern, not too strong, but it's there, and you can tell it's there because of this white. It's called the bridge of the nose. Okay, so that's our shadow. This always use this to create form. There's a shadow pattern. This is a shadow pattern. This is a shadow pattern. This is a shadow pattern. Okay? So let's go and do our shadow. Now this is creating form. There's a plane. This is the plane he saw on this person. This cast shadow could be a little harder. I like a harder cast shadow, so I'll just throw it in. This is describing form. This is our halftone. This is another plane. Shadow. Another. Okay, we're going to start over now. Last week we had difficulty with our machine. We still have some difficulty. I hope this works. The last time I was here, I talked about this area here, and I went with a very strong, a little stronger. My cast shadow is a little stronger than Michelangelo's. Yeah, he does have it, but he uses it differently. I reconstructed this whole form using the idea of the egg. We have our light source here, we have our darker source here, and it turns under. It always turns under. And we have less light down here than we do here. This is our predominant light towards the light source, and it's less down here. So we have a nice movement this way and a nice movement this way. These are all halftones I did just with my thumb. I didn't do cross-hatching because it wasn't necessary. I didn't want to take the time. These are just as a sketch. I adjusted this part of the face just to correspond with our photo. I enlarged the head size just because that is actually what we see here. That's a good point because we generally always add more volume than we think we need. That's always the case. Just keep that in mind. As we always have more distance here than we think we need. Remember the unilateral triangles, very, very important. The neck form is lining up pretty well. You'll be able to get this as a visual with your model. And then you come over here, and if that's good, that means you have the right distance here. Okay, that should just about do it. And thank you. And I'm sorry about the inconvenience, but I hope this will be a good demo for you guys. Okay, thank you.